I made notes. It's like professional and stuff. What is going on, everyone? Welcome to Kart 63. My name is Ben. Thank you very much for stopping by. Real quick, if you didn't mind hitting a like on this video, possibly subscribe to the channel. Kart 63 is brought to you by Track Tack Tire Treatments, Burris Racing Tires, BeardOctane.com, 5.3 Titanium, and JC Specialties. All right. I don't want to do it too fast because I want you all to hear the sponsor of the channel, but also I need to get in a flow to where it really, comes off the tongue. Anyway, so Thursday night, I had all these ideas. I always have ideas for videos, but Thursday night, somebody brought up the point about how expensive entry fees have gotten to be. And I went on, I won't say as a rant because it was a discussion. I like to, especially on Thursdays doing the live stream, I like to talk through things, and it really got my mind kind of thinking about a subject that I had wanted to cover for quite a while. I actually I made some notes so I don't squirrel out too awful bad. But in general, growing our sport, growing karting in general, how do we do that? Okay, first things first, I am not a negative person. I don't like to gripe about things without solution. It is one thing. You can identify a problem with what's going on and use it as reflection to correct whatever may be going wrong or to try and evade that situation. I don't ever want to become a person, especially on this platform, that is just negative. Oh, this is wrong and that's wrong, without actually thinking about some solutions to where we can correct what many might perceive as wrong or anything. So, like I said in the intro there, we were, in general, talking about, why entry fees to races are so high. And, you can go into, we're feeding off ourselves. There's no external money coming from somewhere. We don't have a, karting as a general, whether it be, if you're talking about clone karting, WKA, NKA, AKRA, the big events, we don't typically have. There are little sponsors that sponsor classes. It's fantastic, but usually it's coming from within. It's coming from within the karting community, and there's no big sanctioning body that has sponsorship behind it to type of promote the sport. So when you're talking about high entry fees, you're talking about paying for very high pit parking, stuff like that. That's just to feed the purse. That is to keep us coming to the races. We're willing to, if you want to play, you got to pay. This is a hobby. I mean, some people do it for a living, but this is a hobby in general. As a kart racer, we hope to win money, but you spend far more to get to that point. So it's turnover. We're just the same people that are winning the money are investing in the money back into the sport. I think that somehow, some way, that needs to externalize. There needs to be a series sponsor or a kart sponsor or something big that wants to promote us. So how do we get there? That is the difficult part. Now, I've written down some things as stated. I think that the karting in general is lacking. And this is from the local Saturday night track up to bigger events. The same attitude, like I just said, that we're feeding ourselves, goes for promotion as well. I have no idea when half the races are. Hey, did you catch this? No, I have no idea. I think that I'm fairly invested in the karting community. I think I'm fairly invested in knowing what's going on, what big races are going on. But I'm up north. And that's part of the thing. Like, I'm not down south where all these big races are. Yes, I know, like this weekend, the Big O is going on. I do know about that race. But there are a lot of times when there are big, state type races, these bigger races with bigger purses on. I'm just up in New York and I have no idea they're going on. I had no idea. Yeah, it even happens in New York, Pennsylvania, stuff like that. The promotion is somebody, somehow, somewhere. I know that Ultimate Kart Medium is doing their job, at least in the Carolina area, to that. But in general, the promotion is kind of like sometimes there's local races that promote 300 to win. I'm an hour away from the track. I had no idea that was going on. The promote, somebody needs to pull it by the bootstraps or whatever the term is, that needs to take the incentive in order to get out there. A huge promotional tool for us kart racers, I believe, is Facebook. I know it's for I'm not a boomer. I'm Gen X. But I know that, Facebook's for the old people. Well, then Instagram, then when TikTok or something. Promotion needs to start somewhere. We need to stop feeding off of one another. Hey, if you know. That we have to stop with that attitude. Everybody should know. That is, when I talk about karting, I just went to my 30-year class reunion. And I talk about kart racing. I talk about, people I haven't seen in 30 years. And they're just like, what do you do now? It's like, I run a YouTube channel about karting. And they're like, karting. And I have to show them a picture of what I do. And it's just like, man, that's, I'm as big a fault as anybody else. Maybe I'm not doing enough promotion. I cast no stones here, living in a glass house. But it's tough when you run into that person that has no idea what kart racing is. It's just like, man, this is, I think, the bedrock of what racing is. A lot of your, NASCAR drivers or dirt late models or sprints or this and that, they come from this. And it's just like it's just a little stepping stone to a lot of the people that did go to that. But some of us want this to continue to grow, and I think that doesn't happen without the promotion. So if you're a track, if you're a promoter, I know a lot of you do a really good job. But in general, like everybody, kind of, let's get it out there. Let's not feed off ourselves as much as possible. Another thing I wrote down here was, we don't have the spectators. So when you're talking about a sponsorship for a particular event or a series or this and that, bringing in that outside money. So in general, sponsorship wants to see a return on their investment. It's one thing for me to have Beard Octane on the side of my kart. But in general, a sponsor knows, unless you're in NASCAR or something like that, the activations, I'm going to Watkins Glen here tomorrow. It'll be today when this launches. But they know that in kart racing, you're looking for the generosity of a sponsor in order to put this on. Because, our billboards are not that big. So when you get to the spectator version of it, the spectators we have are, again, feeding off of ourselves. They're our family. They're this and that. That brings into my next point. Some sort of, it goes, all this stuff goes together, but getting into some form of, live streaming and this and that. I have Sports Action TV written down here. I have, wouldn't it be nice to get some more races on Flow? We need to make that more attractive somehow, some way. I don't have all the answers. I'm just spitballing here. Somehow, some way to get our sport onto the bigger platform where spectators want to come see us. If you want a product that people are willing, a sponsor is willing to invest in, a show like the Big O should keep going. I know there's, things with the track. I know that, you make do with what we got. But if somebody's tuning into a live stream like dead air, where it's just, there's no action going on the track, if we have too many classes, like I just said, if it's, Junior 1, Junior 1 Plus, Junior 2, Junior 2 Plus, warm-up race this, warm-up race that, there has to be a way to make it a tighter structure that is easier to promote, to bring in a sponsor, to make it more exciting. Because we watch races. We watch kart racing, and I find kart racing some of the most exciting stuff to watch on TV if I happen to catch it. I'm not into dirt late models. I'm not into sprints. I'm not, I do watch some NASCAR, but I find it exciting. But I have to say, if there's, you got a junior 1+ class or whatever where'd I get the plus from? There's some local stuff that run like plus or this and that. If you got 5 kids just tooling around, that's not exciting. Group those guys together. Get them some more experience. I'm not trying to, tell the parents to elevate their kids too soon, but maybe there's kids that are, close to that skill level. Let's get them together. They can be separate class in the same race. Make it more exciting. Condense the version so it's more exciting to bring in that spectator, to bring in, a possibility of a sponsor to a series, to a, kart racing in general. Hey, that's the Lucas Oil Karts, or, pick a name. Type thing. But in general, like I've wanted to do this video for a long time. Again, I'm a positive person, glass half full. Things obviously go wrong for everybody. But I try and say, hey, what could I have changed? What could I have done better in order to improve that? And I think that in general, as karting as a whole, instead of just being the negative Nellies that some people are, just gripe about tires, gripe about payout, gripe about this, gripe about that. Are you taking the time to try and correct that path? Are you taking the time, or are you just gonna, oh, this is terrible, I'm walking away, tire prep is too much, I've had enough, and walking away instead of sticking with what you're passionate about? Trying to find a way, trying to promote your local track, trying to promote a series, trying to get it out there. There are ways to do it. I don't have all the answers. I'm just, like I said, spitballing here, that I think that there is a way to grow our sport. I brought it up before. I did a video on it before. I think the YouTube thing, the Ultimate Karting Media guys on Facebook doing a live stream every Thursday. I know they overlap on mine. It's fine. They barely even know who I am, and it's totally okay. But in general, getting out there, putting up, shorts and reels and TikToks, getting karting out there, getting more exposure. I often, when people are like, hey, I would love to do a YouTube video, it's very difficult. It's going to be at first. I hate to say that, unless you are a savant in the, you're uber confident and you're not afraid of the camera, you're not afraid to stare at your phone. It's gonna take you a while to adapt to it. I've showed a million times, what I look like 6 years ago when I started the beard stuff, and now my personality on film now. It's possible with the YouTube thing, the Tatums, the Bishops, the Hamiltons, G-Dog, I think his name is, all these, the Prater and Son, all these guys making an effort to getting karting out there. To, if you just put it out there, it's going to come across somebody's feed, in little baby steps. I know that as a whole, it's the economy, stupid. As soon as people have disposable money, I think we'll just automatically see, a return to more racing, but it doesn't hurt to try and, boost that up while it's at a low point or lower point, and try and get there to, try and create the next Super Duper South, trying to create the next Degenerate Garage on YouTube that might reach out. It might grab a hold. It might, make it as entertaining as those guys do. I do my part. I try and the vlogging thing's not really my thing. I'm trying. I try and do my part to put it out there. I try and put reels out there. I think that's, that quick dopamine hit that, as much as I hate to say TikTok bring, if people see that, they see kart racing, they see something like that, maybe it goes, hey man, I didn't know that was a thing. Maybe I can get, little Johnny into it. Maybe I can get little Sarah into it. Maybe I want to get into it. Maybe it's a 30-year-old dude that is just like, man, I saw karts as a kid. I didn't know dirt kart racing was a thing. I didn't know oval track racing was a thing. That brings them to all the YouTubes that brings them to me, that brings them to Facebook searching out, looking for the cart. It gets them looking for their local dirt track to try and, you got to have a good base. I think it's wonderful that we have these 10,000 to win races. I think you need that elite status. You need to have that bar set. You need to have something to strive for, but without a base, without that local racer coming up from that and searching for that, we're going to lose. And I think the way to save karting, to promote karting, to grow karting, is to do just the little things. I think that it will snowball. Just the little videos, just the promotion on Facebook. But anywhere else, TikTok or Instagram, whatever your social media of choice is. Twitter, I don't see a lot of karting on Twitter. They'd be nice. There's a couple. There's a little bit. Anyway, I think it all can help. I think just pick up your phone. Put you get a GoPro, whatever. I did get the question. Should I get an Insta 360? Love the Insta, the look of it, the platform, and all that. When it comes down to it, even a GoPro or like a single view, it's far easier. The Insta 360 uses up a ton of memory. It's a little bit of a pain to edit. I do everything on my phone, so that's partially my fault. But in general, get a GoPro, get a cheap, Chinese knockoff GoPro or whatever it is. Get some recording, put it on YouTube. Every little bit kind of helps, in my opinion. Anyway, sometimes I get a little frustrated when I just got told about a 2,000 win race. There's a Reaper race coming in October. I had no idea what was going on. And it's no fault of anybody in general. Just I think that sometimes we're so narrow focused on just dealing with ourselves. As long as so-and-so knows, we're good. That shouldn't be the attitude. It should everybody, hey man, I'm going to the track. This is going on. There's 500 to win, dirt oval go-kart race going to tonight. And people will go, what? People that are your friends on Facebook will go, what? 500 to win, you're going to race that? Every little bit, that snowball, that promotion in general, I think is, we desperately need it. I don't want to see kart racing snuffed out. People go on and on about what is the cause of the decline of kart racing, the costs, the tires, the this, the that. It's, there are valid concerns there. But is complaining about it fixing anything? Or are you taking that complaint and trying to do something to oppose it, to do good for the sport? I think positivity is the way to go. It is the only way to go. Negativity breeds negativity, and then I'm done. I'm not doing this anymore. Everybody quit. Nobody can have anything fun anymore. I ain't here for that, man. I'm here for the positivity. I'm here for the promotion. I'm here for let's try and together. I try and do my part here. And I know the other social media guys try and do their part there. If everybody kind of just bands together, we'll see through the tough times, and then we can all enjoy the water rise. Just my opinion. It's just my opinion on it. I'm very passionate about racing, and when that thing came up on Thursday, Dirt Kart Racer Live, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here. When that thing came up, it kind of sparked something in me that I have such passion for what we do. I have such passion for trying to help the new people coming up that hey man, let's all go. Let's all do this. I think there are ways to do it. That big sponsorship is probably it's a far cry from getting, but why not try? Why not attempt? Why not try and bring everybody up along with you? That's just my opinion on it. Anyway, I'm off my soapbox. I'll get off my soapbox for a while. I just wanted to make my feelings known about the subject. Anyway, Kart 63 is brought to you by Track Tag Tire Treatments. I thought I was wearing my Track Tag shirts. Neewer Gregson. Burris Racing Tires, beardoctane.com. Ben 10 saves you 10%. 5.3 titanium, and JC Specialties. Thank you all for coming by. I hope you find some good in this video. I never ever want to come off negative. I never want to ever come off preachy. I never ever want to come off as a know-it-all, because I do not know it all. I'm just passionate about what we do. I love kart racing so much. It has been such a great part of my life for 20, Fly, you're interrupting my monologue, for 20 plus years. I want other people to have this feeling. I want other people to experience the competitiveness. I want other people to experience the embrace, the highs, the lows, the defeat, you know, the agony of defeat, all that. I want people to experience that. And I don't think being negative is the way to go. I just think that we all need to, you know, high tides raises all ships. That type of mentality. Anyway, thank you all for coming by. Thank you all for this TED Talk. Did you enjoy my TED Talk? I never knew what that meant, and then I watched a couple. I think it was Rodney Mullen. I used to be a skateboarder. I watched Rodney Mullen, a super intellectual type dude, do a TED Talk. I was like, oh, that's what they're referencing. All right, I'm a little slow. Anyway, thank you all for stopping by. 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Dirt Kart Racer Live right here in this bar in this Western New York where I'm located. Stream, interact with the guys. If you didn't mind stopping by, that would be fan-freaking-tastic. I try and work on my kart, but usually I just end up talking like for an hour straight to you guys. Anyway, next Sunday, a new video as always, and I'll see you guys later. Later.